Manager, and it is truly an honor to stand here before you this evening as we gather to celebrate the profound impact of art in our community. In a world filled with competing demands, whether it's Michigan State's basketball game today, the Lions playing the Cowboys, which that's my thing, or Senator Bernie Sanders, your presence here tonight signifies something deeply important, a shared recognition of art's essential place in our lives. Thank you for choosing to be here with us tonight and to honor the individuals whose creativity shapes the soul of Marquette. Tonight we celebrate not only the extraordinary talent of 11 award winners, but also their commitment to something far greater than themselves. Through their work, they transform our city, making it more than a collection of streets and buildings. They make it a place of possibility, a place where imagination is nurtured, and we are encouraged to see the world differently, to dream more freely, and to live more fully. The city understands that art is not merely decorative, nor an afterthought. An off speech here, that has taken over 20 years of work to do that within. And so we've all come a really long way. It is central to who we are. It's vital to our economy, but even more so, the quality of our life. It gives us meaning, connects us to one another, and invites us to explore new ways of being. Art is not a luxury, as everyone in this group knows. It's essential. And tonight we honor those whose work reminds us that that truth every day, that you're not just creators, but that you are caretakers and cultivators of our local culture and spirit. So now I'd like to welcome Honorable Commissioner and a good friend and a really all-around wonderful human being, Michael Larson.
Thank you. My name is Michael Larson. I'm a city commissioner with the City of Marquette. Unfortunately, Mayor Davis, she was invited tonight, but she's unable to join us. But on behalf of the City Commission, it's my honor to welcome you and show our support for this wonderful event. For 27 years, these awards have brought us together to celebrate the individuals and organizations that keep the arts thriving here in Marquette. The creativity and hard work of tonight's honorees remind us of the important role that art plays in our community. But this evening is frankly more than just honoring the artists. We're here to recognize the volunteers, the educators, businesses, and advocates who make it possible for the arts to flourish. Their effort, often behind the scenes, ensures that the arts continue to grow and enrich our city. So congratulations to our 2024 Art Award winners. Your contributions, whether through teaching, advocacy, performance, or visual art, have made a lasting impact on Marquette. And thank you for your dedication and passion. And also, thank you to you for attending tonight. So let's enjoy the performances, the awards, and this chance to come together as a community to celebrate the creativity that makes Marquette such a special place. Thank you.
Next is my esteemed colleague, Tristan Luoma, that's going to come up and present the first award.
Good evening. Good to see everybody. It's such a special time of year. So excited to be doing another one of these. It's always a good time. So good evening. My name is Tristan Luoma, and I'm honored to present this year's award for Arts Volunteer to my dear friend and colleague, Marlene Wood. I first met Marlene in late 2018. She and her husband Eddie had just moved up to Dearton from the suburbs of Chicago, where she had spent over 3 decades teaching art to youth and adults, and since 2000 operated Positive Strokes Art School and Gallery in Palatine, Illinois. She had sent me an email introducing herself and expressing her interest in teaching classes for the Arts and Culture Center and Senior Center. Like so many first impressions, especially in the world of the arts, I had no idea what I was in for. What started as a few classes here and there quickly blossomed into more involved collaborations on events such as Art Week, Art on the Rocks, the Chocolate Bayou Art Walk, and the Fresh Coast Plein Air Painting Festival, just to name a few. On the side, I saw her going out of her way to connect with other local artists, become an active resident artist and eventual chair of 0 Degrees Gallery, and volunteering her time and energy for the Lake Superior Art Association. In that first email, she attached her artist statement, which included a stanza that moves me as much today as it did back then. Quote, "My recent move to the Lake Superior area in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan allows me to enjoy daily diversity, create plein air paintings on the shores of Lake Superior, and take in the wonderful art and culture that is so alive here. This is where my heart is, my permanent home, and a special feeling, not just a place that I've traveled to for over 35 years. I never tire of the endless changes, the uniqueness, and the sheer beauty of this area I now call home." End quote. Though the Marquette area was already physically her home, over the past 6+ years, she's worked tirelessly to carve out her place within our bustling creative community and accomplished so in spades. As a volunteer, Marlene has taken on leadership, advisement, and hands-on deck roles alike. She's contributed her expertise as both an educator and accomplished artist in her own right. She takes a unique approach to her work by tapping into her past training and work in clinical psychology. Take all of this, add ice, shake, and strain, and you get one incredible, warm, generous, and selfless human being that our community is so fortunate to call a colleague, neighbor, and friend. Marlene, thank you for everything you've done for the City of Marquette and its residents, everything you've done for our partner artists and organizations, and everything you've done for me. You're a true gem, a sterling example of someone who has moved to the area and prioritized doing everything you can do to make it better. I can't wait to see what ideas you come up with next. Folks, your 2024 Arts Volunteer, Marlene Wood.
Thank you, Tristan. Thank you, everybody. You said everything. I can go home now. I want to thank, this is such an honor. It's an honor, and it's an easy honor, because who wouldn't want to volunteer in a place like Marquette? To me, like Tristan said, and what I've said before, this is where my heart is. We've been coming here for 45 years, but living here for 6 years. And I loved Chicago, it was wonderful. I loved my school, I would never go back. There's no place in the world like Marquette. And the energy here, through everybody and everything, I want to thank the City of Marquette, the arts and culture people, the people of Marquette, the artists of Marquette, the businesses of Marquette. Without the businesses, there's a lot of volunteer work we wouldn't have been able to do, so they're very important. People don't think about that as much. I love to be able to show people what it's like to do something that makes you feel good, to move on in your life and have something that you will always remember. To me, art is history, Marquette is history, so together, they're history. When I started coming here 45 years ago, I saw that, and now that I live here, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. A lot of people talk about the change and how they fear the change, but with change comes growth, and with growth comes moving forward. So I have to say that everything that everybody here does is really working towards making Marquette not just one of the most beautiful and diverse places in the world to me, but also one of the best places in the world to come for arts and culture. And I do have to add that when I teach on Tuesdays at the MAC, or at the library, I always stop in to visit the people, Tristan and his crew and Tiina and everybody in their office there. And I have to say, when I walk in, you could see the steam coming out of their heads because they're working so much overtime and so hard to make Marquette what it is. And I think it's so important that people give that to them and let them take that in. So, thank you all. This is such an honor. And Gordon, great job. I've always wanted one of these.
Surprise, me again. So our recipient of this year's Performing Artist Award was not able to make it tonight, nor was his presenter. So I'm going to present and accept on their behalf. So starting with the presentation, I'm really excited to award Darrius Morton the Performing Artist of the Year award. Darrius Morton is one of the most active solo classical recitalists in the Upper Peninsula. He regularly performs at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, raising funds to help preserve one of the city's historic landmarks. As the youngest African-American soloist to perform with both the Marquette Symphony Orchestra and the Marquette Choral Society, Darrius brings unique pieces to Michigan audiences, often presenting works never before heard in the state. As the only classical vocalist in the region offering regular recitals, the City of Marquette is proud to honor him as a 2024 Performing Artist. These are words from Darrius himself, so I'll quote, "Dear members of the Selection Committee, I'm deeply honored to accept the 2024 City of Marquette Performing Artist of the Year Award. This recognition means the world to me, and I'm grateful for the support of this wonderful community. Marquette continues to be a source of inspiration for us all, and it's a privilege to contribute to its vibrant cultural scene. Thank you for this incredible honor, and I look forward to continuing to share my passion for the arts with the people of Marquette. Please excuse my absence as I'm spending time with my son this evening. Sincerely, Darrius Morton."
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Schmitt. For those of you who don't know me, I began working with Joe Graci in the spring of 2022, and at that time, as many of you probably remember, his gallery was kind of tucked away in a corner of his studio behind Lakeshore Bike, so not a lot of foot traffic back there except for First Thursdays, pop-ups, and a touristy weekend here or there. By the end of 2022, Joe and his wife Tiina were looking around for a few different places to expand Graci Gallery, make it a little more present in the community. And I was a part of talks with him, my wife, Tiina, probably some other people in this room, about how to present artwork to the community through Graci Gallery. But by bringing together emerging artists, established local artists that Joe meets on his trips to different art fairs around the country, Graci Gallery shows a broad range of artwork in spaces that bridges the gap between the long-standing gallery and gift shop scene in Marquette and some more established traditional institutional art galleries and museums. Ultimately, Graci Gallery's contributions have enriched the cultural landscape of Marquette while preserving its identity. So please join me in celebrating Graci Gallery.
Joe Graci from Graci Gallery. You can just call me Mr. Graci if you'd like. Typically, I don't have much to say, as most people know. And as my wife usually points out, what I do say doesn't have much value anyways. But anyways, moving on. I'd like to thank Tiina and her crew for this event, for the honor of being up here. It's very unexpected, and it's a great honor. I'd like to thank my employees, past and present, for everything that they've done for us. They really do all the work. I just write the checks, complain about things, tell them to move things left or right, up or down. Additionally, I'd like to thank the artists that we work with. They really put a lot of trust in us to show their work. Most of the artists that we work with are full-time artists, so it's really an honor to show their work and to try to sell it as best we can. Additionally, I would like to thank my wife. Without her support, I'd still probably be working in the sawmill and not doing anything close to what we're doing now. So, thank you very much.
This is really exciting for me to be here. It's my absolute pleasure to present this year's Arts and Innovation Award to Kelly Gilligan. a truly exceptional artist, educator, and innovator in our community. 3 years ago, the Marquette Arts Awards and Innovate Marquette partnered to create this award to honor those who foster creativity and inspire growth. I'm thrilled to see that vision reflected so beautifully in Kelly's remarkable journey tonight. A 2012 graduate of NMU School of Art and Design, Kelly has made an indelible mark on Marquette's artistic landscape. Early in her career, she worked alongside local designer Beth Milner, further honing her skills and establishing her unique style in the jewelry world. Her talents have not gone unnoticed. She has been an award winner since her days at NMU, and more recently the Best of Jewelry Award on Art of the Rocks, not once, but twice, in 2019 and again as a standout this year in 2024. Kelly's work catches the eye for more than its beauty. It is a bold exploration of unconventional materials and intensely intricate processes. I was quite astonished when I started researching what she actually did and how she did it with all her techniques and how intricate they are and how actually pretty hard they are to do. Her designs, inspired by the textures and patterns found in Marquette's natural surroundings, evoke a deep connection to the place we call home. From the natural stones and bones of the shores of Lake Superior to loon feathers once in flight, Kelly's jewelry tells a story rooted in the local environment, each reflecting nature's subtle artistry. What makes Kelly's approach even more inspiring is how she weaves her personal life into her work. She involves her daughter in the creative process, teaching the next generation the value of craftsmanship, imagination, and self-expression. This intergenerational collaboration is a beautiful reminder of how art is not just a product but a way of life, an expression of love, learning, and connection. On behalf of Marquette Art Awards and Innovate Marquette, Kelly, we celebrate your art history, innovation, and commitment to nurturing creativity within our community. Thank you for enriching Marquette with your passion and vision, and congratulations on you on this very well-deserved award.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Marquette Art and Culture Center, for this award. And I wanted to point out that I am wearing my wedding dress this evening. Yeah. We recently had our 6-year anniversary. We didn't get to celebrate because of family and whatnot. Life is busy. So, Mike, I love you. And like I said the other day, like I would marry you again tomorrow. So, I love you. I want to thank my mother and my father, Joan Andreski, my friends, Miss Newby, Miss Baker, the Worthingtons, Trish, Paul Denhart, the Schultz and friends, Dale Weedig, Beth Milner, Paul Mankey, my families, and my children who I love more than anything. You have all taught me how to be open, to listen, to feel and admire the small things in life. Because of you, I know how important it is to focus on being kind and to love. I am filled with gratitude. And I cannot wait to see what is next. Thank you.
Tell a microphone for me. Well, hello everyone. I'm Tiina McNeely. I'm the youth representative for the City of Marquette Arts and Culture. I'll be presenting this year's Youth Award to Sophia Burkhart. Sophia is receiving this award as a notable and successful dancer and as a volunteer throughout her community. Sophia has been taking dance lessons since the age of 4 and started performing around the age of 9. As a performing artist, Sophia has been able to share her love with dance within the Marquette community by dancing at some places including the Westwood Mall, Brookridge Heights Assisted Living, MSHS, Marquette's Got Talent, as well as throughout the City of Marquette's Art League in collaboration with Troy Graham and 2 of her fellow dance teammates. Now as a freshman in high school, Sophia dances for the MSHS dance team in addition to New Attitudes dance team. This means she dances 6 days a week. That's a lot. Her favorite types of dance are jazz and lyrical. Sophia is receiving this award as also for her volunteer work. She's a very generous volunteer throughout the Bothwell community and other community events. She also volunteers at her dance studio, helping teach a toddler class. Toddlers are a lot of work, by the way. Like, I helped teach one before, and I couldn't any longer. Sophia enjoys teaching and sees herself continuing to dance throughout her life. As only a freshman, she's not sure what she wants to do for a career, but we can all see that she's a very important member of our community with a very bright future. Now I'm proud to welcome Sophia Burkhart to the stage.
Thank you to the City of Marquette and Culture Center for this award. I was surprised and honored to learn that I was nominated for this award when I know there are so many talented kids in our community. I love dancing and look forward to continuing to share my love of dance around the City of Marquette. I want to thank all of my dance teachers at my studio, New Attitudes Dance Studios, Miss Jana, Malone, Aaron, Olivia, Maria, and all my past teachers. Thank you to all of my dance teammates at the studio and on the MSHS dance team. Thank you to my family and friends for always supporting and encouraging me. Thank you.
All right, lift this back up. Here we go. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. It's so good to have you all here. It is my privilege tonight to present the City of Marquette's Visual Artist of the Year Award. And this award recognizes not only artistic excellence, but also the lasting impact that artists have in our community. And tonight's honoree has definitely done both. Shawn Malone, though unable to make it tonight because, well, she's teaching a photography workshop, so that's fitting. Well, she is no stranger to sharing her expertise and inspiring others. For nearly 25 years, she has called Marquette home. And over that time, her photography has captured the spectacular Lake Superior region. In fact, she photographs under the title of Lake Superior Photography. So if you haven't heard of Shawn Malone, it is Lake Superior Photography as well. So Shawn's journey as a photographer begins with her love of the grand landscapes that surround us, and her work continues to reflect that passion. She spent over 2 decades mastering her craft, actually starting photography later in life, but she's created a body of work that showcases the natural beauty of Marquette and the Upper Peninsula. Her gallery, Lake Superior Photo, has been a staple in downtown Marquette, right on Front Street, for over 11 years now. And it's where countless visitors from near and far are able to experience her photography and also the natural beauty of the UP throughout all the seasons. From the very beginning, Shawn's work has stood out. Since 2005, she has exhibited in top juried art shows across the country, receiving numerous awards along the way. One of her personal favorites is the Ann Arbor Art Fair, where she has exhibited since 2008. She was also a poster artist and a staple exhibitor in the local Art on the Rocks Fine Art Fair for many years. Her very first art show was the Dome Christmas Show in her early time of photography, and it was when she first moved to Marquette, and frankly, she said, I moved here without a job, and I started just trying out photography and started deciding to try and sell it, and here we are, it worked. So her photography, though, is not only just beloved here in Marquette, but it's found on walls of businesses, medical centers, offices, hotels, and homes across the country. Shawn's work has also been featured on shows like Under the Radar Michigan and Great Lakes Now. Her internationally recognized aurora and night sky photography has garnered numerous awards, including recognition from the Smithsonian. Her breathtaking time-lapse work has showcased in national documentaries and TV shows, most recently in the National Geographic's America's National Parks. Her passion for the night sky began with her first aurora photo taken in the late 90s, taken on negative film. It was a different time where instant results were not possible like they are today with digital photography, but the magic of seeing those first images is something she never forgot. In the past years, Shawn has actually been studying wet plate collidon, I think I said that right, one of the first photographic processes that was actually invented in the 1850s. This is a logical progression for her, as her focus has always been about creating photography with minimal post-processing and authentic and true to the subject being photographed. She's looking forward to producing a new body of work with wet plate Culloden Originals, which uses glass, silver, light, and an 8x10 large format camera. I myself am not a photographer, but she was able to show me some of the equipment that she uses, and yeah, the process is mind-blowing with how you get one shot, quite literally. Beyond her accomplishments as an artist, she's also a dedicated educator. For over a decade, she has led photography workshops across the Upper Peninsula, helping others discover and capture the natural beauty of this region. Whether presenting in schools or leading week-long expeditions on Isle Royal, Shawn is passionate about guiding photographers, beginners and professionals alike. In capturing their own stunning nightscapes, she has fostered a community of photographers who return year after year to her workshops. For those taking their first aurora photograph to seasoned astrophotographers, memories are made and all come away with new skills and the inspiration to push their work further. Shawn Malone sets a high standard for landscape photography in Marquette, and her dedication to capturing and sharing the beauty of this region is unmatched. Although she cannot be here tonight, her work continues to speak for itself, and we are incredibly fortunate to have her as part of our community. So, on the behalf of City of Marquette, I'm proud to present the 2024 Visual Artist of the Year Award to Shawn Malone. Congratulations, Shawn. And thank you for all of your support.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight, and thank you Marquette Arts and Culture for providing this opportunity for our community. My name is Randy Clemens, and I am a student of the Queen City Ballet Company. I am elated and so honored to be presenting the Arts Educator Award to the company's founder and instructor, Deborah Choszczyk. Deb grew up in Midlothian, Illinois, and started dancing, ballet, and tap at the age of 5 years old. At age 16, she took a train into the city to check out a studio that catered to adults. Deb will tell you she thought she knew everything at 16, but she soon realized, even after years of classes and recitals, she was not trained properly and gave up in less than a year at that studio. This was a turning point in her life, because not only that, but Deb was turned away twice from Nutcracker auditions at the Civic Opera House in Chicago and lost her drive for a professional career in dance. But as a result, Deb told herself, if I want to teach, I have to start over, so what happened to me will never happen to others. Her resolve was to work towards a degree in dance, not only to educate herself, but to share dance with every student she would have the privilege of helping to the best of her ability for the rest of her life. In 1997, at age 41, Deb finally started working on that degree. Graduating with honors and being on the dean's list at Kirtland Community College got her a scholarship to Alma College and into the dance company. Alma was the game changer. She participated in as many dance styles as possible, including Highland, ballet, modern, liturgical, and theater, but her fascination to this day is dance history. In 1998, Deb accepted a position at Shattuck St. Mary's Prep Boarding School in Faribault, Minnesota. Deb was not only the head of the department, she was the department. That position took her and her dance company of very accomplished dancers to Greece, England, Scotland, and Italy, and numerous places in the States, performing wherever they went. To this day, traveling around the world inspires her. One summer, Deb and her husband camped the entire summer, and it was then that an idea for a ballet came to her. A ballet all her own. Not a recreation of what had already been written and staged, but her own ballet. She had talented dancers to fill the roles. She had the time, the resources, the space, and yellow legal pads in the camper. She started writing. In 2002, Deb completed her master's in education at Hamline University. She was hired as an adjunct instructor at NMU in 2004. With 120 students, she recreated the Nutcracker Ballet and many other dance productions. Her dancers performed at nursing homes, Renaissance festivals all over Wisconsin and the UP, the Blueberry festivals, Celtic festivals, and dance outreach at local schools. Members of the dance program even performed aboard the Royal Caribbean. In 2007, Lake Superior State University kidnapped Deb from Northern, and once again, she was the dance department. There, she created the first dance minor program offered in the UP, and she was awarded Teacher of the Year in 2013. Every week for 8 years, Deb commuted to LSSU from Republic. After a serious illness, she left Lake Superior State, but her goal was to start teaching again, concentrating on adults who were searching for a ballet program. In 2016, 3 adult women showed up at a small space in Marquette, and Queen City Ballet was born. Today, I can tell you Deb has numerous students join her classes every week. I have only been dancing with Deb for a little over a year, but many of her students have been with her for the 8 years of the company's existence. Even with my short time with Deb, I felt compelled to nominate her for this award. She dedicates so much of her time to dance in Marquette, creates a respectful and empowering place to learn, provides a safe environment for former dancers to return to, and displays a kindness that everyone who knows her witnesses. She goes out of her way in class to address individual concerns and even spends her own time joining dancers for shoe fittings when they move from practice ballet slippers to point shoes. For many, time for dance education is short. There are not many opportunities for dancers to continue this art into adulthood. Deb sees the potential in each and every one of her dancers, even when the world has told them they can no longer be ballerinas. It is difficult to put into words the impact she has on dancers in Marquette and the education she provides every week on Monday nights and Saturday mornings. Today, members of Queen City Adult Ballet have performed at nursing homes, created liturgical programs in local churches, danced at Hiawatha Music Fest parades, Art Week NMU programs, and were featured during the Episcopal Convention at NMU. Most recently, they performed Highland dance at Bay College with Falche Celtic band, and were featured in a documentary from an LA-based film crew on dance and music in America right here in Marquette. In that ballet Deb wrote in her camper one summer, it became known as the Fairy Ballet. La Fée de la Nuit was performed for the first time at St. Mary's in 2001, at Lake Superior State in 2009, and in June 2022 in Marquette's Kaufman Auditorium. At the urging of her students, the ballet was turned into a book which she published. So what is next for Deb? Well, just last week, Deb and her dancers performed at the Marquette Fringe Phantasm, who we get to see later. And nearly all of her Queen City dancers are participants in the upcoming community Nutcracker performance on December 7th here in Marquette. And Deb basically rewrote Act 1 of the Nutcracker this year for its Christmas at Camp theme, which will showcase her expertise in Finnish, Italian, and Swedish folk dances, and of course, ballet. It is a show you won't want to miss. It is my honor to present to you the Marquette Arts Educator of the Year, Ms. Deb Choszczyk.
I'm not gonna make it. What an honor. I will tell you this, I'm so glad I had time to take this all in. Thank heavens it didn't happen just yesterday. Or I'd be standing here speechless instead of getting to speak to all of you today. It is with my sincerest gratitude in all my heart that I want to thank the Marquette Arts and Cultural Center for trusting me and all the dancers at Queen City to produce and perform and give to our community. What an honor to be able to do that several times. I want to thank Tristan and Amelia and Tatum and Miss Tiina for that honor and privilege that we've been doing now together for 8 years. I would also like to thank the ORDOC because of you and giving us the space. I can be here with all of you, members of our community and my dancers, all in the same place at the same time because of their generous offering of their space. That means a lot to us. Believe me, we've looked for spaces in the past to dance, and they even allowed us to use the space as a rehearsal space, so we're very, very grateful. Thank you. I'd also like to thank one person in particular who has been with me for 42 years and puts up with all these continuous performances that we do. My husband, Dan, is truly, to coin a phrase, the wind under my wings. He is with me all the time. I don't know how he does it. We've just done 3 other performances in the last month, and now I've got another one with my dancers today, and of course Nutcracker. But without my husband, there is no way, because none of us can do anything alone. None of us. We all need help. We all need support. And I was grateful enough to have him come into my life and support me. And we're not done, right, hon? We're not done. Randy, you are the reason that I'm standing here, right now. So thank you for that. And then thank you to all my dancers who are out there and here with us today for just 8 years. All the past seems gone and distant, but now the 8 years that we have spent together, what we've done, how you've grown, how we've grown together, this is the most important time in my career right now because of all of you. And so I want to thank you all for being here. There's one other person in the audience that's very, very dear to me, Miss Lori Oliver. She just traveled from on her way up. She was a colleague of mine at Lake Superior State University and a dancer as well. And while Lori and I were communicating this past week about her coming up here and via email, there was a quote on the bottom of her signature page that caught my attention, and I'd never noticed it before. It was a quote by Miss Colleen Wilcox, and I didn't recognize the name, of course, and so I looked it up. My nose is running, I'm sorry. And she is a physics professor at Texas A&M, and her quote read like this: "Teaching is the greatest act of optimism." And I pondered that, and it does take optimism, whether we're parents or teachers or friends of each other. It does take that optimism to know that who we're teaching, who we're guiding will be successful. And then it is my job as a teacher to hopefully not only instill that, but for my students to feel that they will succeed, they will progress with that. And so it's that sense of optimism that I try to instill in my dancers, and I hope they will do the same for the next generation. I expect I expect myself to surpass where I am now. I am not done. I am not done teaching. I have so much I want to give and share to my students. But there's another quote I must share, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, and to see if you can figure out who it is. It's my job to make sure that my students will grow beyond what they've become. It is my job to let them grow beyond what they become. That was Master Yoda. And with that, I thank you. The piece that you are about to see, I choreographed in 2013 when I was at Lake Superior State University. I was going through breast cancer and chemo and radiation. I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. But I never stopped teaching. And when I wasn't physically able, people would come in and help me. But the point is that in 2013, in the middle of the night, I was in the studio at Lake State, and a piece came to me based on how my body was feeling, my heart was feeling, and I created it to the music of Coldplay, Paradise. Today I want to share with you that piece, how it was done originally, and I hope you will see and feel what I was going through, and God forbid it happens to anyone else in this room, but it came out and is a dance. And I have 6 dancers from Queen City Ballet who are going to share that with you. I hope you can feel the feelings that they have. That optimism that I was talking about is evident that they have progressed to that point where they can share what I was feeling with their own bodies. That is tremendous to me. And so I have to do the music, but I present to you Paradise by Coldplay from these dancers at Queen City Ballet. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it.
is John French. I'm a local painter in the area. I've known Laura Songer for over 20 years. When I first met Laura, I knew vaguely that she had an artistic background. Laura studied botanical illustration, biology, and plant ecology, and was a medical illustrator. Over time, Laura got more and more involved in local arts things, like the very first Fresh Clothes Plein Air Festival. And that's when we got to see Laura's fun work. Laura likes to say that if you're not wearing it, you're not having enough fun. And if you've ever seen her, she's got paint up and down her arms. I do the same thing. One day she told me that she was opening a gallery. I said, well, that escalated nicely. Count me in. Wintergreen Hill opened in 2021 to a crazy and unsure world. It's a beautiful, welcoming space full of color that we so very much needed back then. That space in the very front room, where everyone could see it from the 3rd Street sidewalk or street, has been the temporary home to dozens of artists of different skill levels from different points in their careers. Art from beginners and veterans have bedazzled those walls. For many artists, this was their very first gallery show, their first exhibit, their first solo reception. A tiny seed to hopefully start a garden of creativity. Speaking of receptions, Laura is a nonna, an Italian grandmother. And if you know anything about nonne, then you will know they like to cook. The food and beverages at a Wintergreen Hill reception are almost legendary. I want to thank you, Laura Songer, for feeding us with good food and great art, and I present to you the Arts Advocate Award of 2024.
I'm too much of a boomer. I wrote this out by hand. If you don't understand any of this, let me know later. I'll give you the half-an-hour version. I am so honored and a bit embarrassed to accept this award tonight. Honored because it comes from the art community. Embarrassed because that's what introverts do best. Also, I really am only doing what a Youper would do. Kind of the art version of stopping by the road to helping someone who's stranded. Only what a Youper would do. But many years ago, God took my little introverted Youper heart and expanded it 10 times, sort of like the Grinch. But not like the Grinch. He opened my eyes to the struggles of those around me. I'd like to thank my husband, Matthew Songer. I like to call him a serial entrepreneur, who encouraged and supported me in my crazy idea of opening a gallery. I'd also like to share this award with 2 artists the Marquette community has recently lost, 2 encouragers and advocates, Gail Mahan and Steve Pelto. Other than Joy and Christine, who followed and supported me in my move from WOW Studios on Washington, Gail was my first renter. She didn't need a studio, but in her words, she wanted to see me succeed. Steve soon joined our artist family. Everyone who came into the studio instantly became Steve's best friend and was soon sitting at the table in the back, deep conversation, learning watercolor techniques. And this brings us full circle around to you, the artists in this community. I am continually impressed by the variety and depth of talent in the Marquette community. I am convinced that Marquette can become an art destination, but it will take more than just one advocate to accomplish this. It will take each one of you. The long winter is approaching and we all have a tendency to hibernate, but I challenge you to seek out artists at galleries or holiday markets. Take some classes. I'm sure Marlene would be happy to arrange that. Encourage and help others while being inspired yourself. Finally, please Financially support your fellow artists this holiday season. Marquette needs to support its own through the winter and early spring drought. Buy local, better yet, buy local art. Thank you.
Hello everybody, what a wonderful evening. Thank you, Tiina and Tristan. So I'm going to accept the Writer Award for Lynn Domina because as we celebrate, she is in the German city of Kiel, the birthplace of her grandfather. But she is a professor and the former head of the Department of English at NMU, a much loved and highly respected teacher and poet. And she is the author of 3 poetry books, 3 collections of edited works by other poets, and a devotional book, and 3 scholarly books for a total of 10 books, which is really quite an accomplishment for the head of a department. She, in a recent email, asked me to say something, and I quote, "Be sure to tell everyone how much this means to me, being recognized by the people of Marquette, which I have so grown to love." And she asked me to read her poem, McCarty's Cove, in this beautiful collection, Inland Sea. If you haven't read it yet, there's still time. If my grandfather had never left Kiel, I would have learned to cook Apfelkugel and Sauerbraten as my father liked them. I would have enjoyed Heinrich Boll's stories without struggling over words like Abschied or Grasslichen, though perhaps every farewell would still have felt terrible. Walking daily down crowded streets, I might have trained as an interpreter, learned wood carving, or worked on the docks, loading ships with lumber, or hand-carved clocks, or immigrants to America. Inhaling salt air, I would have become one of those people who misunderstands lakes, small or great as seas, calling them insufficient. I would never have purchased a laminated guide or driven the entire tour, Superior's breath stretched always to my right. This afternoon, as winter shifts finally towards spring, I wouldn't have imagined myself still barely believing my luck, kneeling in sand between the lighthouse keeper's red house and the cove surely meant for swimming, filling my cupped hands with fresh water, remembering here, I live here. Thank you.
I'm much taller than I thought I was. Hello. All right, folks. When I first heard the word phantasm, my mind immediately conjured an image of Dan Aykroyd wrestling the hotel ghoul from Ghostbusters. When I mentioned the organization Marquette Fringe to my friend the other day, she's from out of town, her first thought was of a new fabric store specializing in tassels. As you can see, there's quite a cultural barrier in Marquette's understanding of its sole fringe organization. In light of this, I'd like to provide a bit of a description so that we're all on the same page. Google defines a fringe festival as, quote, a performing arts event that features a variety of original, uncensored work from independent artists. On its website, Marquette Fringe defines itself as an organization for performing arts in Marquette, Michigan, that provides a platform for non-traditional art forms. Taking in all of that information, I'd say that Marquette Fringe is a community-built organization that concentrates on providing a space that encourages, protects, and expands upon the creative energies of this region. Because of their persistent advocacy, support, and facilitation of those inspired forces, it is my honor to present this year's City of Marquette Arts Organization Award to Marquette Fringe. This local nonprofit organization boasts unparalleled success in providing public access to the fringe arts in a time and age that threatens such engagement. Whether it be through hosting events that work around pandemics, curating a welcoming platform for niche performances, or establishing a fundraising model that functions on the smallest amount of public contribution possible while still accruing enough to support their paid artists, Marquette Fringe has fought the unseen battle of navigating the arts arena, while also threatened by every uncontrollable force this universe has to offer. Yet, despite those threats, they continue to come out victorious due to the unrelenting support of their volunteers and the bond that they have created with this city and its people. Thank you, Marquette Fringe, for your hard work, and thank you to the City of Marquette for recognizing it here tonight.
Thank you, Maddie. That's a wonderful speech. And yeah, we do kind of feel victorious, don't we? 4 years in the making, this. Basically, I first want to start by thanking the Marquette Arts and Culture Office for organizing this event. Doing something like this that shines a light on, arts and culture in our community, acknowledges it, appreciates it, there's tremendous value there. But I really have to express the honor I feel right now being up here and speaking on behalf of not just Marquette Fringe, but these incredible, talented, passionate, just incredible people behind me. And also, this is just some of us. There are plenty more that I wanted to bring up here, but limited space. But this all started a little over 4 years ago. Formally, we were organized as a nonprofit April of 2020. When things happened and the world kind of stood still. But before that, all we were just a group of people that came together, some of us meeting for the first time, in fact. But we all recognized that this community, the arts and culture community specifically, was something truly, truly special. And like Laura said earlier, it had depth. It had passion. And through that recognition, we recognized that there was a place for an organization like this here in the community as well, to create a platform for artists and also the community at large to engage with this original, artistic culture we have here in Marquette. I'm originally from Chicago, and many of us also are not from this community, but we chose to live here because it really is something special. The people in it, the things that we've created, I've never seen anything like it, and I've grown a deep love for this community. And so once we finally got together, we started to work. And despite of COVID and all the events, that we all had to face as a community together, it all kicked off with Glimpses from Elsewhere, a digital variety show in the early year of 2021. Basically brought a bunch of local artists together from the safety of their own homes, submitted their piece, and we showed it to the community through a premiere for free. And from there on, that kind of set the pace. The next thing later that year, we had the Fall Phantasm. Its first year started as a fundraiser because we wanted to, get off the ground, but People loved it so much, they demanded, they didn't ask, they demanded that we bring it back. And just last Saturday, we were able to wrap up its 4th year at Lake and Lands. For those of you out there who have volunteered or been there to help develop an organization, you recognize that it doesn't just take, commitment and passion, but it is a sacrifice. It takes a lot of time. You have to dedicate yourself to it, contribute day in and day out, face challenges, navigate current events. And with the people up here with me today, I could not be more proud of the people I have here with me and to have navigated these 4 years. And we picked up some folk along the way as well, But for the last 4 years, it's been an incredible journey, and I can't tell you, as we move into 2025, April will be our 5th year. I am very excited to see what else we have for you. I hope you all to attend and take this journey with us. If you're looking to create, if you're looking to participate, or if you just want to attend, please do. And with that, thank you all so much for the recognition, and we'll be seeing you guys soon.
Wow, what a night so far, huh? How about that? Good evening, my name is Walt Lindola, and I've been involved in one way, shape, or form here for many of the 27 years that this Art Awards has been going on. And when I saw this next gentleman's name come up for a special recognition award, I knew I had to do that to say to Tiina and Tristan that I want to award or induct or whatever word to present, how's that? To Jim. And one of the things I've seen here so far tonight, and I know you have as well with all of the winners this evening and all of the groups that are represented, is a drive and a passion for what they believe in. Creating something that moves people and makes us think. Jim Supanich and Sombrero Sound is the personification of a drive and passion for perfection to make every show that he mixes sounds great. He understands that there is a magnificent ballet of negotiating technical matters, personalities, weather, time zones. They think that we're in Central Time up here. I have known, well, it's happened, yeah. Where's our band? Well, they think it's Central Time. Jim, play another CD, okay. But he handles it all with ease and grace and a comfortability that bands that I have known, and I've had my own opportunity of being mixed by Jim with various projects at various concerts and things, that he makes it very easy for the performers. He understands that the old adage of never let them see you sweat, because when they're on stage, their job is to deliver a great show and to put on a wonderful performance. Jim's job is to make sure that you can hear it and that you can see it. And while sometimes that is overlooked by people, it is an integral part in the success and successful execution of a creative event. He's done Fringe, he's done the Blues Fest, he's done Hiawatha, he's done Harbor Fest, he's doing 4th of July, he does a series in Munising every summer. There's many more. Shows at Northern, all of that. Real quick story, I've known Jim for about 32 years, we were talking about it earlier, and I didn't realize it till tonight, but he told me the story that when I was a student manager at Radio X, WUPX, one of the student station at Northern, there was a band that we hired that was coming up to do a show at the University Center. Yes, that's what we called it back then. And there was no sound company, and through some resourceful folks, I think that some are in the room here tonight, also to share in this honor with Jim. Jim got up there, put up a sound system, and he went and did the show, and it all went great. And it was his first sound gig. And I remember being there. And I thought, wow, this is really something. I've seen this guy grow. I've seen him, and he said, I charged $150 for it. And I said, I think I can make some money doing this. It's a lovely life. He'll tell you all about it here in just a moment. You may not know Jim, but you've heard Jim's work, and many of you also have Jim's other work where he is a custom cabinet maker, a true artisan. He considers himself a craftsman. I say he is a true artist with what he can do with a piece of wood. And he is, yes, he should. And I understand he is starting to venture into the making of guitars, acoustic guitars now, yeah. So sign up now for your Supanich. It's a wonderful thing to have. It's funny, I've known Jim for so long and I've done so many different things with him. I go to hockey games with him and we travel and we do shows, and I spend a lot of social time with Jim, including council meetings around his fire in his backyard, we call them. We solve the world's problems, and dang if we don't remember the solutions the next morning, but we had a hell of a good time making those things happen. He is a man that is a true professional. He is a man, and his company, Sombrero Sound, that does the best sound around. It's on the van, it's on the truck. You can't argue with that. He is my friend, and I am honored to also call him my brother. A special recognition award this evening to Mr. Jim Supanich.
Check, 1, 2. Can everybody hear me? Cool. Can I have a little more monitor, please? Just a little bit? A little bit more? That's perfect. All right, thanks. To anyone that understands, that's my feeble attempt at little sound guy humor. Why does it look so blurry? You don't have your glasses on. All right, well, they save the best for last, folks. I give great speeches when there's no microphone or people in the room. When I'm driving my car alone, when I'm riding my bike, I kill it. So anyway, here goes. We're given 3 minutes for our acceptance speeches, and that's an eternity for a person like me. In fact, I was so nervous earlier that I reached out to my youngest son, Evan. He's a natural when it comes to talking to people and talking to crowds. And he said, Dad, just imagine that everybody's naked. So, give me a second.
This way.
Oh, Lord. Boy, I've been waiting all day to do that. The problem I have is I keep imagining myself as the one that's naked. Anyway, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I'll do my best to distill it down to a half hour or so, okay? Hopefully less. Seriously, nobody wants to be off this stage more than me. Well, maybe won't. Anyway. Well, what a long, strange trip it's been. There's just no other way to put it. You can't do this for 30 years and not feel that way. So many stories, so many great people, so many great performers. And speaking of strange, I have to say, the cosmos sure works in mysterious ways, doesn't it? At least that's what us agnostics say. It was a year ago today that my partner got her diagnosis. It was 24 years ago today that we got married. And after being on the planet for nearly 70 years, I'm fortunate enough to get an award, and who shows up in town but Bernie Sanders? He's got the same time slot too. He's talking from 5 to 7:30. I hope they limit him to 3 minutes. But Bernie, I love you, and I'll vote for you again. I will. Little sombrero sound history for you. Walt just mentioned it. I got into doing sound by complete accident. Never went to school for it. Never thought about doing it. I just happened to have a lot of gear after a band that I was in broke up. And a friend of mine had booked a band to play at Northern through Radio X. And the band came up and said, hey, where's the sound system? So T. Hammery, I know some of you know her, called me in a panic and asked me if I could do the gig. And I said, sure. And everything went good. The rest is history. I made $150 that night, and I thought to myself, I can make money doing this. I've been making it up as I go along ever since. As far as receiving this award, I'm as surprised as anybody, which begs the question, Tiina, where are you? I can't see anything, of course. Yeah, hey Tiina, are you sure your staff didn't misunderstand your directions? You didn't ask them to contact me about doing sound for this event, did you? And like Tristan went rogue and just gave me an award, and then you had to give me one or something? Okay, well, in that case, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for such an incredible award. It is truly an honor. I've done sound and lighting for 3 of these events. And I have to tell you folks, I was blown away the first time I did it. I've always known that Marquette is blessed with incredible musicians, but it really didn't, but this event really opened my eyes to the other arts and disciplines where extremely talented people are doing amazing things. Never did I once think that I would be standing on the stage. And Tiina and her staff do an amazing job of putting it on. They are cat herders extraordinaire. How about a hand for Tiina and her staff? Really exceptional work. Anyway, enough self-deprecation. I hope you know I'm joking. But I'd like to say, I like to say always, I'm only as good as my last gig. And I am. You're only as good as your last gig, folks. Before I get to the heart of what I want to say, I will say this. To start a little production company takes passion. It takes commitment, it takes energy, and it takes money. Yep, it takes a boatload of money, folks. Thank God for home equity loans. I actually just paid mine off in June of 2023 after 30 years. So I'm definitely. It's never for money, always for love. That's Talking Heads, by the way. All right, okay. I got a minute and a half left. Walt, you're not.
I'm not rushing you.
Not yet, anyway. But more important than my resolve, I needed a good crew and talented technicians to do the bigger gigs. And man, was I fortunate. Thanks, Gary Schuler. Thanks, Jack Connors. Thanks, Dylan Trost. Thanks, Luke Arquette. Thanks, Brandon Pananen. Thanks, Dan Zini. Thanks, John Wennerberg, also known as Seldom Seen Slim. It also takes people and organizations to support and believe in you. And man, was I fortunate. Marquette Arts and Culture, Marquette Area Blues Fest, Marquette or Hiawatha Music Co-op, Marquette Rotary West, Marquette Exchange Club, WBKX, NMU's Concert Series, Rockestra, Marquette Fringe, yeah, Elgin County Parks and Rec, Kathy Reynolds and Pictured Rock Days, the Woodtick Music Festival, the Grand Marais Festival, the Brimley Casino, and so many local bands. But more than anyone, I'll get there, hang on. I need to thank my partner of 30 years. She never complained once, and never once questioned my judgment. She never uttered a disparaging word, never gave me a hard time when I was gone for days at a time, only support and love. If I needed a spotlight tech, she was there. If I needed help breaking down after a gig, she was there. Countless times she packed my bags, countless times she packed my cooler for me and my friends. So if you don't mind me indulging anyone that wants to join me, this is a toast to the one and only. And in closing, I want to say to all the above mentioned, thank you. To Marquette Arts and Council, thank you. And thanks to you all. Good night.
That was something. That was beautiful, beautiful show. Every year I get overwhelmed with the speeches and the presenters, and every year they knock it out of the park, and they are just so authentically themselves. Before we close tonight, I'd like to thank some people. I'd like to thank our partners and our collaborators, because none of this is possible without deep collaboration between artists, but also our broader community. You know, we're talking a lot about arts and culture tonight, but it's about our community and all the different sectors that come together. And I'd like to thank the Ordock Brewing Company. They are a sponsor, one of the sponsors tonight. And their staff is just amazing, and they built arts and culture into their business plan. And they have built this venue as a platform for the community, and we're just so lucky to have them. I'd also like to thank a very special sponsor and partner and collaborator, Innovate Marquette. Innovate has everything from the flowers to these beautiful awards. They have not only funded this event, but they're our partner. And they see the value of arts and culture, and they know how important it is to build an equitable and inclusive and diverse community. And so I love the fact that we have this economic developer that's investing in not just technology, but all of it, our culture, and they see the importance in this. So they've been sponsoring this event. I think this is the third year, so deeply grateful to Innovate Marquette. I'd also like to thank, there's no awards here to show you right now, but one of the things with these awards is that every year since I've gotten this job, the awards are made by an artist. And they're all individually crafted. And we used to have a different artist every year make these awards. And then at one point we decided this is a lot of work every year. So we decided to brand them, and Dale Wittig from Northern designed the awards, and he fabricated 3 or 4 years worth of awards. And then we ran out, and Dale said, I'm not doing it anymore. And so this year, Gordon Gearhart, who also is a colleague of Dale's, Gordon Gearhart is a blacksmith, and his artistry tonight fabricated these awards by hand, from iron, from the UP. They're the heaviest awards, but they give us a tangible symbol of what this evening represents. And so you're so lucky if you got one of these awards. Next year, they're getting these awards too, so that year of winners is also lucky. I also want to thank Tamama Dance Company, who now it's tradition that they perform here every Art Awards. And also, of course, our musical guests afterwards. Please stay, and Patrick Booth, Luke Arquette, and Dawson McKenzie will play some incredible jazz for you. And we can mingle and hug and do all that wonderful thing and just come together tonight. Let us not forget that the work we celebrate tonight is not about the individual achievement only. It's about the collective vision for the better, more connected and more inspired future. Art does not merely reflect our world, it reshapes it, and it reminds us that even in the most uncertain times, beauty, hope, and possibility are always within reach. Thank you, and let us honor the spirit and creativity that sustains us and elevates us. Thank you to all the people that came tonight. Thank you to all the award winners. So grateful to share and live in this community with you. Thank you.